great day. It's been a wild week. You're gonna have to deal with it. I'm gonna get back on track tomorrow, so don't worry about it. Today we are talking about exercise. And I know people are just kind of like rolling their heads like, exercise for mental health. To that, I'm not gonna tell you just go and take a run, even though that's what I do sometimes to deal with my anxiety and associated issues and my way to decompress. But that's not the best way for everybody to necessarily take out their emotions and deal with things. But what I do want to talk about is the associated science behind why exercise is so beneficial for your mental health. I'm really interested in that. I think there are a couple of main components that might convince people of why it's so beneficial. And so I'm going to share the 3 things that I have most recently learned that tell the story of why it's fantastic for your body and mind. We all know exercise is good for you. Nobody is refuting that. But mentally, the first reason why exercise is beneficial has to do with something called cortisol. When you exercise, you're placing stress on the body. Cortisol is a stress hormone and is released as part of your fight or flight response. Evolutionary speaking, cortisol helped cavemen fight off saber-toothed tigers. It's meant to be immediate and not meant to stick around. If it does increase perpetually over time, that's not a good thing. You got a problem. Back to exercise. Because it's a form of stress, it stimulates cortisol to be released. Here's the kicker. The more your fitness improves, the lower the amount of cortisol needs to be released because the stress isn't perceived as that high. It also then occurs during psychological or emotional stress situations. Those who are simply in better shape have lower cortisol or stress responses to life's events. The second benefit has to do with our endorphins. When you work out, endorphins are released, interacting with receptors in your brain that reduce the perception of pain. These are the same receptors that many pain and mental health medicines bind to. We've all heard of runner's high, but have you had one? It's kind of absurd. Your body is flooded with optimism and happiness, largely having to do with our serotonin and dopamine levels increasing. This is also shown to be sustained for long periods of time after the workout. The last is that exercise increases the volume of certain brain regions due in part to the increased blood supply that also brings along with it more oxygen and nutrients. This notably occurs in our hippocampus, the area of our brain involved in memory, emotional regulation, and learning. I thought those 3 were interesting. Hope you did too. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. The link is in my notes. We will see you tomorrow where we're talking about mindfulness.